And boom, we are live. What's going on, guys? Welcome in. Take a seat and get comfortable. Hope you're all having an absolutely fantastic day so far. It's really, really fucking good to see you all. Hope you're all staying safe out there in this crazy world we seem to find ourselves in. So, on today's video, we are going to be checking out an EP called The Beginning by a band called none other than The Head of the Traitor. So, story time. I'm going to take you back to a day, specifically January 23rd, 2021. 2021? January 23rd, 2021. Good lord, that's a lot of 20s. Yours truly was, as he always is, looking around online, trying to listen to, like, you know, everything that gets released, which is an absolutely futile endeavor because there is just simply too much good music getting released from this community, whether it's on Slam, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, I'm doing my best, so I was having a little scan around, and then I saw that a band called, would you believe it, The Head of the Traitor, had just released their single, Forest of the Impaled. I clicked on it, and I thought, this is really cool. This is cool. This is it's got a unique sound to it. The production, it's just everything about it's kind of unique. Just the tone of it, the way it's produced, the vocals, the symphonic elements are done in like a really interesting way. This is cool. I'm a fan of this. This is awesome. So then I went down to the description, and I went, oh, Scotland. Ooh, I'm from Scotland. No extreme metal bands are from Scotland. What the fuck is going on here? So, as far as I remember, this isn't a. I don't think this is exactly how it went, but I'm pretty sure I did a shout out video on my Instagram for this song. Just saying, like, you know, how much I liked it and blah 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 blah, all that type of shit. And then one thing led to another. Someone from the band reached out. I'm pretty sure it was the not the lead singer, the lead guitarist and songwriter, main songwriter at least, Tony. He reached out to me and he was like, dude, thank you so much, blah, 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 blah. Would you like a t-shirt? Funnily enough, I actually own 2 Head of the Traitor t-shirts, believe it or not. They sent me one which fits, and then I went to one of their gigs, which we're going to get onto in a little bit. Strap yourselves in, by the way, because this is going to be a long one. And then I ended up actually buying one at one of their gigs, which was far too small, but it was the last one, and they were giving it away for a $5, so I was like, I'm fucking buying that. Can't find either of them since I moved into my new place. Such a bummer. Anyway, it is what it is. So all that happened, and then one of the cool things about the Head of the Traitor being from Scotland is that it means that because a lot of my since I've been doing this whole RDG thing, since I've been promoting music and sharing bands and getting to know people, I've made friends with people literally from all around the world. I've got the Finnish Madmen, Gorebag. I've got Humanity's Last Instrumentality Project. I'm pretty sure I said that right. They're from China. We've got people in Australia. We've got people, in America, so on and so forth. But these are not places that I can just easily go, hey, family, I'm going to China to meet Humanity's Instrumentality Project. You know what I mean? I can't do that. So I was like, wow, these guys are from Scotland. Okay, cool. So I wonder, like, where about, Turns out pretty close to me. So these guys, so the Head of the Traitor have played many, many times in Glasgow, and I believe I've seen them 4 times. So I went along to see them, met the whole band. First of all, they absolutely slapped live, and I was really nervous when I got there. Actually, I ended up, I couldn't find the fucking venue because I'm an idiot, so I ended up actually getting there like a little bit late, and I missed like their first song, and I was like, oh my god, seriously, I've came all this way, they know I'm coming, and I'm gonna miss fucking half their set or some shit, but didn't end up working out like that. Met them, thankfully. They were really good live because I was worried they were gonna suck, and also you never quite know how you're gonna get along with people. They can be cool people. I consider myself, I don't know, at least like 47.5% of the time I reason, not a total cunt, but you just never know how people are gonna gel. Thankfully, we got along immediately. We all have, funnily enough, we've got the similar interests. We're all just kind of like laid back working class guys that they like playing and recording metal. I like listening and promoting metal. It was perfect, and I've gotten to know I've gotten to know the drummer G especially well. No particular reason, by the way. It's not like I can't stand the rest of them. I've had lengthy conversations with all of them. They're all a really really cool bunch of guys. We've had plenty of smokes. We've had plenty of drinks. We've hung out. We've chatted shit. We've talked about like various different subjects. So the reason I say all this is because before we actually get into listening to their EP, I'm just going to put a big massive flag in the air. I'm biased as fuck towards these guys. I love them all very much. I think they bring something truly unique to deathcore. There's nothing else out there that I've heard anyway that sounds quite like the head of the traitor. I think I think Tony's an incredible, really, really, really sophisticated songwriter. And we're gonna actually go into that because I did a reaction video to their song "The Beginning." That was the one that they released after Forest of the Impaled. That's when I actually did the reaction video, and I was able to go break it down a little bit and shit like that. So we're gonna the way Tony writes choruses, especially in that song. Well, I've only actually officially heard two of their songs, Forest of the Impaled and The Beginning. A little bit more on that in a minute. So I'm going to try and remain as unbiased, but also acknowledging the fact that I have a very, very strong bias here, because it would be silly for me to say that I have no dog in this race. I love these guys. I really, really do. They're the soundest bunch of dudes. Everyone in this community is really, really cool, and they are no exception. I love these guys very, very much. If we didn't live so far away, I'm sure we would spend a fuck ton more time together. I'm a huge fan of Forest of the Impaled. Well, not a huge fan of Forest of the Impaled, to be totally honest. I thought it was a solid track. I thought it was even a little bit better than solid, but it didn't completely melt my face. The Beginning, on the other hand, that absolutely fucking blew me away. So yeah, just gonna put that up in the just gonna wave that flag. Second point before we get started. I've seen these guys play 4 times. I think it's 4. They're playing in November as well, actually. It's the 31st of August today. Halloween, motherfuckers. They're playing in November sometime, and I think that'll be the 5th time I've seen them, potentially. So I've heard all of their material. Including all of the songs on this 5-track EP. So we're going to be listening to 3 new songs. So this puts me in an interesting position here, because I like to do blind reactions if I can. And this is not a blind reaction. I have heard these songs before. I've not heard them recorded. I've not heard them produced in a studio. I've not heard them, I don't know how they've mixed these songs, but I have heard them. Hearing stuff live and hearing stuff on CD is very different, but I just want everyone to know going into this that that there are definitely going to be parts of these songs where I'm going to be like, yeah, I've heard that. I've fucking heard that before, definitely. But it's a different vibe, It's a totally different vibe. So this is uncharted territory for me, basically. I've never done a reaction video like this before. So when you put in my personal ties to the band and the history and the fact that we've actually met, and I've got all of their I'm pretty sure all of their phone numbers, I think. I've got them all on WhatsApp. I've got them all on WhatsApp with chat at least weekly, all that type of shit. It's a weird uncharted territory for me. So I am fucking shitting myself, to be totally honest. But Monster Reserve White Pineapple. What the fuck is a white pineapple? Right. White Pineapple sounds like a fucking Velvet Underground album. Anyway. Okay. Okie dokie. I don't think I can put this off any longer. I think it's time to actually just listen. Whoa, easy, easy. Today. God, I suck at this. Right. Okay. Let's get this shit going. Yeah, cool. So we've got blind perceptions, the beginning, and I'm going to talk quite a lot through the beginning. Just because I've heard the track so many times. I listen to it at least weekly, but more than that because it is just one of the finest deathcore songs I've ever heard in my life. And then we've got Human Condition. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Human Condition was one of the tracks that I said, yo guys, what was track number 3, 4, whatever? Because I think they played about a 7-track set when I saw them. So I think Human Condition is the one that really kind of that oingoed my boingo, so to speak. And then we've got Force of the Impaled to end things. I can't remember why I started saying all that. My head's up my arse. Okay. Yeah, man, I'm so fucking nervous, bro. Holy shit, man. Oh, mate. I am so, whoa, that's a picture of the boys there. Don't ask. Uh, um, there is such a thing as like transitions and stuff like that you can do with OBS, but not happening. Look at that. I haven't even cut my hair or anything, dude. What a mess. Okay. Fuck. This is the most nervous I've ever been to do a reaction video ever. Okay. Okay. I'm fairly sure that I think I heard like 20 seconds of this. Like I just played it just to do levels or something like that. I'm pretty sure this is the intro that they do when they're playing live. So anyway, okay. There appears to be a poltergeist in this computer. Okay. The beginning. The head of the traitor. We're going to start with blind perceptions. Let's go. This is the intro that they do live. This is a fucking blinder. There's a drum bit here. Just give it a second. See if I can get the timing for it. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Okay, Fitbit, I am ready.
And there goes an advert, because that's how it goes. So yeah, I remembered most of that song. Totally different on CD. Obviously, why would it CD? Oh my god, how CD's nuts. How fucking old am I, man? Oh my god, I had that on CD. It's so unique. It's so unique that there's nothing there's nothing blackened about it. Let me just take these off. There's nothing blackened about it. I would personally, from my perspective, which I think is awesome. There are bands out there that call themselves symphonic deathcore. I really don't hear the symphonic side of it. I definitely hear the symphonic there. The intro was awesome. The fact that it was there was lots of like scrapes with the plectrum. There was lots of slides. The guitars and the drums were frantic, but there were other parts of the song that were willing to take their time a little bit. It didn't drag on. It was like an over a 5 minute, a 5 minute song, but it never it slowed down without ever like dragging, like making the song drag on a little bit too long. It never sounded pretentious. It was always interesting. There was a part that we're going to go back to after we've heard the beginning at about 3:45, where they could have easily done just a kind of cliched breakdown, but that's just not how the Head of the Traitor roll. Fucking loved it. Let's crack on. Next track, The Beginning. So I'm gonna talk a fair bit through this. What I really want to talk about here is the chorus, because this is where I think this is a really, really good example of why I think the Head of the Traitor are actually something special. They're not just a good symphonic deathcore band, they're actually something very different. So let's get on with it. You hear the strong symphonic elements in the background. So the chorus repeats 3 times in this track, and I want to talk a little bit about it, about why it's so good. So let's get there first. I've heard this song so many times. Guys, honestly. So there's a nice slow, like kind of like, I think it's cellos or violin section, that slows right down and then goes straight into the tremolo picking chorus. Okay? I've heard this song about 100 times, still goosebumps, man. It's so fucking good. I'm not going to do the stop-start thing with the other tracks. So the lead up to the chorus, it slowed right down. It was kind of like epic. It was epic. Had a lot of keys in it, a lot of, would you believe it, symphonic elements, and then it took its time, and then went boom, and it kind of launched into the tremolo picking chorus. Now, something that I think would have been a really, really easy thing for them to do would just be to do the same thing, for the band to just slow it down, do some keys, but then maybe change the keys a little bit with like to go like up or lower or just a couple of different notes, and then go back into the chorus. But what they actually do with the chorus is, and it slows down a little bit. And instead of maybe taking the slightly pretentious route of just going, look how symphonic we are, let's slow it down again. It just goes, it just doom, and then straight back into the chorus. It's really, really fucking good songwriting. It keeps a really, really nice pace to the song and stops it from like getting like kind of bogged down in its own potential pretentiousness. Here we go. We could still be in the middle of a symphonic section here, but just to keep the song going, they were just like, nope, let's do the build up, and then boom, straight back into the chorus. It's really, really fucking good songwriting. Let's get on with it. This little section coming up here is really, really cool as well. They could have, there's nothing cliched or predictable about these guys, which is one of the things that I love most about them. they they do this is definitely what you would call a breakdown, but it's not a kind of like Worm Shepherd slightly over the top breakdown where you kind of know what's going to happen. The next the next part after this sounds totally unique. I've never really heard anything quite like it. It keeps going, but it keeps going in kind of like an interesting way. And then once again, they go back into the chorus, but they go back into the chorus in a different way, again, to keep the song moving, to keep it fresh. Here we go. And chorus, just one. That's good songwriting right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's high quality shit. Symphonic, innit? I fucking love that song, honestly. I've heard that song like 100 times. I don't have a bad word to say about it, honestly. It's kind of got like an uplifting vibe to it. Symphonic deathcore tends to be more uplifting rather than blackened deathcore, which has that kind of like there's no hope for humanity black metal kind of grim, snowy, lost in the forest type vibes to it, you know. Next up, we have another new track. I need to get spotted. I need to fucking get YouTube Premium. I swear to God, dude. How am I supposed to work under these crazy conditions? Okay, now we have another track. Now I'm fairly sure this was my favorite one that they played live. I think this is called Human Condition. Just go wait for Human Condition. I'm pretty sure this is my favorite one that they played live, so I'm pretty psyched on this. I'm going to shut the fuck up during this one because I've not heard it yet. Let's go. Boys keep you on your fucking toes, eh? You never know what's coming next. You can't bang your head to this. It's too crazy. Oh, fuck. Yes. That sounds even sicker. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if I prefer that live or recorded, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I think obviously, I don't know. I don't know. It's close. I've heard that song like a bunch of times live. I don't know which one I prefer, but the use of guitar solos, and it's not just like they're going, okay, let's do a guitar solo. It's like we'll do a guitar solo whatever the fuck we want because we're not following a rule book here. It's so frantic. The I think it was from about 2 minutes onwards. It got slower, but there was like little cowbells here. Maybe it wasn't cowbell. I don't know. I'm, again, for the millionth time on this channel, not a musician. But there was just little drum fills here. There was little guitar bits there. There was just nothing kind of ever got like plodding. It's just constantly keeping you on your toes, throwing all these little different parts at you. That was definitely their kind of their kind of quote heaviest track, in my opinion. That sounded a bit more kind of like a standard, like slower, down tempo, deathcore, chunky section. There was a few of them in there, but also just really, really frantic. Just again, not really playing by the rules in any way. Just doing whatever the fuck they want to do whenever the fuck they want to do it. And I've got nothing but respect for the boys for doing that. If I'm some fucking really, really fucking good guitar playing as well. Tony's a beast. Tony is an absolute beast, and these guys can do all this live as well. Very, very impressive stuff. Okay, last new track, but fourth out of the last one is Force of the Impaled, but we're going to listen to that again. I'm pretty sure this track is called Belial's Sentiment, or Belial's or Belial's Sentiment. I'm not quite sure how you say that, but this is the last new track. New track again. Let's go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Prepare your anuses for this one. This one's a fucking monster.
No free hand, use your...
Maybe that's my favorite track. Maybe that's my favorite of the newer tracks. I don't know. It's pretty close. I kind of forgot how fucking good that shit was. Yeah, holy moly. Right, hang on a second. Things have gone so badly here. Right. Things have gone all wrong. Right, let's crack on. Forest of the Impaled. I've made notes about bits that I want to go back to, so, or potentially some bits I want to go back to. Okay, let's go. This was the first song I heard by these guys. Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the head of the traitor. The beginning. I thought that was shit. No. So, this video is now on for 45 minutes, and we're going to go on for quite a bit longer than that. And we're going to go on for longer than that because it's my fucking reaction video, and I'll do what I want. That was a unique experience. That was a very, very unique experience. Not just because the head of the traitor, I listen to a lot of this type of music, and when I say a lot of this type of music, I don't just mean Slam Worldwide and oh my god, Beheading the Traitor. There's a YouTube channel called Beheading the Traitor, not the head of the traitor. Beheading the Traitor. I don't just mean listening to those two things and then maybe a couple of unique leader record like tracks and stuff like that. I really do listen to a lot of different music because extreme metal is my business. This is what I do. These guys do interesting things. The symphonic elements are really, really strong. Like, so much stronger than other symphonic deathcore bands, even just symphonic metal bands. Let's go back to a couple of bits. I've made quite a lot of notes here, but I don't want to. Oh shit! Sorry, just punching you guys in the face there. Right, let's just mute this. Right, let's go back to blind perceptions, and I've got bits. I've got timestamp 3:45. 3:45 noted here. Yes. Here's an example of a unique thing that these guys do. Okay. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Build up to this, right? Doom, 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 right? And then right? Got my headphones. You know what I mean? Big, over the top, subatomic, neutron star size breakdown, right? Okay, what do these guys do? They actually go into a bit where it's choppy. The vocals come in at a slightly different time that's off rhythm. The guitars come in at a different time. This is what I'm talking about with these guys being unique. Lovely bit of guitar work. Okay. Right. You know it's coming. Huge breakdown. What do these guys do? They do this. And then a groove section, with the bells or whatever they are, like being really high in the mix. That's fucking cool, man. And then they keep it going. They add more guitars. They keep the groove going. Fucking blinding shit, guys. Blinding. And then I've got another timestamp here as well. This bit here, this sounds like Brand of Sacrifice when it starts going. they build with the symphonic. That bit there, so that sounded like a Brand of Sacrifice track. I can't remember exactly which one, but go check out Brand of Sacrifice. If you guys are a fan of this channel, you're very likely a fan of Brand of Sacrifice. I think I did a reaction at one of their videos about, like, I don't know, what feels like 100 years ago. But to slow it right down with the synth, to then go choppy, lots of different things going, then to keep the kind of the individual notes going, and then layer the symphonic elements, and then put in some intricate guitar work while keeping that chunky groove going. It's all unique. Okay? If there's another deathcore band out there that are putting all these things together in this way, with this, but still keeping a strong sense of identity, because that all sounded like Head of the Traitor. There was nothing. There was nothing that sounded well. I was kind of like, that doesn't really sound like you guys. You're kind of spreading yourselves a little bit too thin. If there's another band out there that are doing this shit, point them out to me, because I really, really fucking want to know that band. Now I've got a couple more things here that I wanna highlight. Yeah, Human Condition. There's a few parts here I want to skip to. Gorgeous guitar playing. This is them at their heaviest. It's just bonkers. It's melodic, it's groovy, it's heavy, it's slow, it's fast. You can never fucking tell what's going on here. There's these mad wee fills, and then it goes on to like it just, there's so much going on. But to me, it never sounds messy. Well, correct, never sounds messy. Okay, cool. I like to say everything I like about something, and then maybe a couple of criticisms later on. But you guys know it's all love. There's just so much going on within one song. It's a thrilling experience listening to the Head of the Traitor. It really is. They just do so many different things. You know, I think I've got my point across with just those bits. There's a few more bits here I would like to mention, but it's kind of just another thing I want to mention as well is I want to actually just mention G, who has been on my podcast, by the way, the Roach Warren podcast. It's on my YouTube. I spoke to G for about 2.5 hours. He's a tremendous drummer, a really, really fucking tremendous drummer. I mean, just all the fills and just again how unique it all sounds. Tony's an amazing guitarist. I can't remember. I'm really, really fucking bad with names, but the rhythm guitarist is also super solid as well. The bass player is really, really good, and the symphonic elements, I don't think I need to mention them anymore, but the vocals coming from Darren, holy shit, this guy's not been doing vocals for very long as far as I'm aware, and he can do fast spitting stuff, he can do groovy stuff, he can do lows, he can do highs, but there's kind of but there's to my ears there was never any kind of like slightly overused tunnel throats and stuff like that, or I heard the term side tunnel the other day. Does anyone know what a side tunnel is? Like, I know tunnel throats, but there's also something called a side tunnel. I don't know. I think put your tongue in the side of your mouth. I don't know, There wasn't any of that stuff. It was all his vocals reminded me a lot more of kind of like a straight brutal death metal band, or even just kind of like an old school death metal band, rather than deathcore shit. But I love the delivery of it. I love the delivery. I love that he was willing to just kind of stick to like two or three tones and then throw in a couple of other little like gutturals and stuff like that, but not kind of spread himself too thin. I love the rhythm. In fact, actually, I'm gonna have to actually play one more section because it really, really took me by surprise. I'm fairly sure it was on Belial's Sentiment. Ah, man, I'm gonna annoy myself with that. I think it was about 326. It got surprisingly groovy. Why throw a groove section in there? Why throw that in there vocally? Because he fucking wanted to. That's what these guys do. Again, they've ripped up the rule book. They're just doing whatever the fuck they want. This is, you know what I mean? It's just they're not following the kind of standard deathcore handbook. There's so many little bits in that EP. It does so many different things. I could sit here all day. I really, really could sit here all day. And I hope that I put that flag up right at the very beginning. I'm biased, so I put that up in the air immediately. So I hope that you guys, everyone watching this, I hope you guys appreciate what I'm saying, and you don't just think, sure, this guy's gonna fucking blow off. This guy's gonna blow his load over anything these guys do because he's clearly biased and blah 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 blah. And I think that's true. But there's truth to that, obviously. But because I am buddies with these guys, I love them all very much. But I think I've fleshed out enough of the reasons why I think these guys are actually something very, very special and they do things differently. So hopefully you guys don't think I'm just being totally just blowing smoke up their arse because they're my buddies. They do interesting things here the whole way through the EP. In every individual song, there's so many cool bits. Okay. That's been coming up for an hour of me saying basically nothing but positive things. Here's some criticisms. Okay. The production, the mix, the recording, whatever you want to call it about. So I'm going to go into some details here. So it was divulged to me on my podcast with G that the production or the mix or whatever you want to call it, whoever was responsible for it was a troubled production process basically. It doesn't sound the way that they want it to sound, as far as I'm aware, and I get it. The beginning sounded like it was mixed by a completely different person in a completely different part of the world at a completely different time with different recording equipment and different mixing equipment and so on and so forth. And I'm pretty sure that's because it actually was. Not all of these tracks weren't necessarily done at the same time, as far as I'm aware. I'm fairly sure that the version of Forest of the Impaled, the first track I heard by these guys, I think the one that we heard there was different than the one that was released on Slam Worldwide all the way back in, what was it, January, the beginning of 2021. I think they remastered it for this. It sounded a little bit more punchy. I might be talking shit there. Probably am talking shit. But I thought there was some parts of this that sounded really, really good. The symphonic elements sounded crisp. Really, really crisp. They had a nice echo to them. They sat very, very well. That was fucking weird. They sat really, really well in the mix. They were turned up very loud as well, so you could really hear them. So it wasn't kind of just like a Okay, I think there's a symphonic element there. It was like, oh no, shit, that's symphonic. You can really hear them. They sounded crisp. They had a really really great kind of almost kind of texture to them. Um, I thought they were great. The, one of the issues that I had with the mix on this was that it was an uneven production job. There was times where I could really hear the guitars. There was times when I could really hear the bass. There was times when I could really hear the drums, and then there was other times where I just couldn't hear some things at all. And there was times where it kind of felt like, I can't remember exactly what track it was, but it was kind of like the drums were back here, and everything else, maybe the drums were the farthest back, and then the vocals were just a little bit further forward than that, and then the bass and the guitar, both the guitars, were kind of all scrapping, like all kind of like smooshed together, sort of like in the middle. It just sounded a bit paper thin in places, I'm sorry to say. There was times where I just couldn't hear the snare whatsoever, and the snare was right there to kind of give that kind of like punchy, chunky deathcore sound, and you just couldn't hear it. Like you literally just couldn't hear it. And there was other times where it was like there was things battling to be heard, and it kind of sounded a little bit messy. It sounded just a little bit. It sloppy, basically, is what I'm sorry to say it. It wasn't. It didn't do some of the songs justice. I would really really like to hear all of those tracks remastered, basically remixed, well, not remixed, whatever, somewhere down the line. Now I know these guys have got other things, in the pipeline. But I do remember G saying, and again, he said this on my podcast. Anyone can listen to it, so I'm not divulging any secrets here. But I think there was a kind of general consensus of, oh, for fuck's sake, let's just get this shit out. Let's just get it released. It sounds like it sounds, so we can move the fuck on, because they've got all this other stuff that they want to release, and they're kind of just stuck on the aptly named Beginning EP, I guess. I think there was a case of just, right, this is, right, fuck it, let's just get this fucking shit out, because we want to just move on with our lives, basically. So it was uneven, and it wasn't just uneven in the fact that I thought some bits sounded really, really good. Cavernous. That's what it sounded like. It sounded cavernous. It sounded like there was just, some things were just at the end of a stone corridor, some things were at the other end. It was kind of, just didn't really work in a lot of ways. But what was I just saying? Yeah, it was an uneven production job. Some of it sounded really good, but then sometimes you could hear the drum. It wasn't like you couldn't hear the drums for the majority of it. It was that sometimes you could hear the drums, and then you really couldn't hear some of the instruments. Sometimes the guitars stood out. One thing I noticed as well is that some of Tony's, I presume it was Tony's guitar solos, sometimes they would like kind of just like, they would just be like right there, like ASMR, and then whoom, and then they would come out of nowhere, and you would kind of like, I was like, whoa, shit, that's far too fucking loud, like far too loud. It's in different places, so it didn't ruin the experience, but I do worry that some people are gonna that some people, because because of kind of how technology has improved over the last, I mean, like, you can literally, if if you have the resources and stuff like that, you can do things in your house that you would only be able to do in a studio that charges, like, I don't know, $300, an hour or something, like, back in like even the fucking 80s or the 90s, really, So what it means is that to kind of keep up with the rest of the pack, your shit has to sound like good, or at least decent, because I think other people might just go, next, I'm not really digging the production, I'm not really digging the mix on this, next, I'll just go to something else. And you go to some guy that's a one-man band that's just, working in fucking Walmart or something and is just making music in his spare time. And his EP sounds absolutely fucking world class. You just can't imagine that he's doing this by himself, and it's just him and maybe one other guy or something. So I find that might hold back the enjoyment for some people for this EP, which is a shame because there was a lot going on there. So it wasn't unlistenable, but it was definitely difficult. It was in some places it was very challenging. I was really really trying to listen, and I was like, man, this is kind of like a blur of lots of different things going on. Another thing as well is that it maybe started to become potentially a little bit formulaic. As far as I'm aware, every track, apart from the beginning, there was, I think there was at least 4 tracks on there. The beginning didn't start with a symphonic element, but a lot of the tracks started with a symphonic intro. I like symphonic shit, but I thought that potentially maybe a little bit more variety on the intros of the songs might have went a little way. It was like by the time track 4 came along, it was like, oh right, another symphonic intro. Okay, cool. I really like that, but maybe more beginning-esque stuff. Maybe it started to get slightly formulaic. Not very formulaic. I mean, I'm really trying to keep this balanced here. I'm trying to come up with some stuff that I didn't like about it, but I'm struggling really. I'm very very much struggling. Apart from those 2 things, I thought it was fucking great. It was uplifting. It was sinister. It was beautiful. It was chaotic. It took its time when it wanted to. It was really fast when it wanted to. It was unpredictable. The guitar work was unique. The drumming was great. The vocals were great. The bass playing was great. The symphonic elements were great. These guys fucking slap. They really, really fucking slap. I absolutely cannot wait to hear what these guys have got in store next. And who knows? Better production. Maybe, Tony's only going to improve as a songwriter. I think he's. I don't want to say genius, but the way he puts songs together and like very very special, very 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 very, very special stuff. He's only gonna like learn more as well. The sky's the limit for these guys. The sky is the limit, and also they're totally willing to get out there and play as well. They want to get out there and actually play live music, and that's how you do it in this line of work. That is one of them. If you're gonna have an actual band, you need to get out there and fucking play some shows, and these guys like playing shows. So the sky's the limit with these dudes. I don't want to say proud because I haven't really achieved anything, but fuck it, I'm gonna say it. I'm proud of these guys. It came out, yeah, very very impressive stuff. Very very fucking impressive stuff. I'm gonna be jamming that for a long long time, and I hope everyone else will as well. So down below, once the video's finished, scroll down. Oh, do it now. Actually, motherfuckers, scroll down now. You will see a link to the album. It might just be a bunch of individual tracks. Might link to a playlist, not really sure. You will see a link to their Instagram, to their Facebook, to their YouTube channel. You'll also see a link to Total Deathcore. Go and check out Total Deathcore as well. Some interesting shit going on there. Keep an eye on that whole Total Deathcore thing. I'm not going to say too much more about it, but just go over and be involved. Total Deathcore actually handled the distribution of this album as well, so a lot of it you can get it through Total Deathcore as well. You don't have to get it through the YouTube. I'm gonna link all of that shit. Please, 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 when the video is finished, go down, scroll down, click on every single one of the links, leave them a comment on Instagram, leave them a comment on Facebook, follow them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram. Go drop Total Deathcore, follow each of the individual guys. If I can be bothered, I might actually put their individual shit down there as well, but I'm probably not going to do that because I'm a lazy shit. Just do whatever you can to support these guys, and unfortunately I have now become one of those guys that asks you to like and subscribe to my channel. I don't make any money out of this. I'm not trying to make money. what I'm trying to do is grow this platform. So one day, instead of putting tens and sometimes hundreds of eyes on these bands, I would like to put like thousands or tens of thousands. And the way you do that, if you want to help grow this platform, so not to make me rich, but to help these bands, hit the subscribe button. Most importantly, to be perfectly honest, I don't really care too much about likes. I like comments. I like hearing what you guys think. And hit the bell for notifications. Turn them all on, because then you know the next time I'm releasing stuff, and so on and so forth. So yeah, if you could do all that YouTube shit, I would really appreciate it. One more time. The Heads of the Traitor, the beginning. Go check that shit out. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for sitting with me for an hour and 10 minutes and listening to me talk absolute shit. I hope so, at least, I don't know, maybe 10% of it made sense. Love you guys very much. One more time. Head of the Traitor, the beginning. Go check that shit out. Love you guys very much. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.